Everyone, welcome back to another video here on Twico. If this is your first time coming, well hey, thanks for coming and checking out the video. If not, then thanks for coming back and supporting us and showing us some love. Yeah, so I'm shooting this part in tandem with the beginning part of last episode. So if you notice that nothing's in this tank yet, or if my mind has rationally changed and there's actually never gonna be anything in that tank and it's gonna be in a different tank, which if you guys know me, you know that that's on the table, especially as I think about things, because I do have a way to potentially maybe clean up and use this tank. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But if the really cool ghost knife fish isn't in this beginning part, it's because I don't have it yet. I'm actually going to get that now. But this week's video is going to be the one that I teased that's going to be messing with this tank and messing with this tank, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go get that. I won't show you a baby angelfish update because guess what? It's been 30 seconds since the last video, so nothing's changed. But I am going to grab the black 5-gallon buckets. We're going to get that situated. And yeah, I'm excited. So let's go get us some fish. Let's help some people rehome some fish. And let's get it going. Oh, it's just another late night in the fish room. For context, if you saw last week's episode, you need to pause and go check it out. Just put little dude in here, the ghost knife fish that has not been named yet, because nothing in this fish room is named unless it comes to us named, except for Ricky and Bobby, the two Oscars that we have in the 75 up front. But basically what I need to do now is I need to actually drain this 55, take these tilapia out, throw them into here, because this tank is going to be used for some of the fish that we got today. And then I need to put a couple of the fish into that aquarium. So what fish am I referencing? Well, I'd love to show you. So let's go ahead and let us go ahead and double up and use two, what are these things called? Buckets, real quick. So everyone looks pretty good. Wow, she is gorgeous. So this is the first one. This is a super red bristlenose. And if you see, there's a bunch of Neocaridina in there. I think for this one bag, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Neocaridina in there. There's also some duckweed, which is kind of cool. I already have a bunch of duckweed, so that's okay. So we've got the super red, and then we've got a bunch of Neocaridina in this one, along with another bristlenose. Wow, that's a lot of shrimp. I asked, she was like, hey, I've got a bunch of shrimp. I hope you don't mind if they're in the bag. And I was like, mind? I'm looking for some shrimp. Basically this person, for full context, I bought these fish. I paid like $35 and I ended up getting, now that I'm looking at these bags, a lot of living beings. And it's because they have some axolotls. They need to move some axolotls to the 75. They're needing to clear out their 75. So they had a bunch of these platies as well. So I was able to rehome some platies. There's also some shrimp in this one. Okay. And then, who is this guy? Oh, this is just a bristlenose. And it looks like somehow there is no Neocaridina in here. So that's a bristlenose. So 2 common, 1 super red, and they're full grown. Oh, there was water on the outside of the bags. That makes more sense. More Neocaridina and more platies. Not all of these platies are full grown. Some of them are pregnant. And actually, speaking of, let me see. It's not that bag. Is it maybe this bag? Nope. Absolutely more platies. Yeah, that female is 110% pregnant. Wow. Okay. Is it this bag? Nope. More platies and more Neocaridina shrimp. Okay. This is more platies and more Neocaridina shrimp. This is more platies, more Neocaridina. And the final one is also more platies and no Neocaridina. So basically, I got 3 bristlenose, so 2 common, 1 super red. And then I also got 26 platies, I believe, was the number, because she had a bunch of platies that she was trying to get rid of. And I was like, listen, I definitely want the bristlenose. She had a couple other fish that I was like, hey, I'm interested in getting those fish as well. I have some colonies that they can live with, like Coolie Loach, what's the other thing called? Cories, things like that. But somebody had already claimed those, so I was like, perfect, awesome. I'm glad to hear that they, you know, have good homes, so on and so forth. But that was that, and then I was like, well, you've got a bunch of platies. Is anyone looking at platies? Somebody was looking at a couple of platies, and I was like, how many do you need to get rid of? She's like, a lot. So I was like, listen, I've got $35. If you can offload platies, go for it. So, because I knew for a fact that I'd be able to put them into a tank with the Neocaridina for the time being, and just have a nice little display tank in here, pops of color from the shrimp, from the platies, the whole nine, and just kind of have it be a nice little tank. But I get there, and she's like, yeah, here's all these, and showing me all the platies. And I love live bears. I mean, I've got mollies. I used to breed mollies in college. We've talked about that on the channel before. And then she's like, yeah, do you mind if there's Neocaridina in the bags? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm actually trying to get some Neocaridina. And she's like, oh, okay, I've got a bunch. And I was like, well, if you're trying to get rid of some, I would happily buy those instead of the platies. And she's like, no, it's fine. I've got a bunch. Do you care about the color? And I was like, no. So there's easily 30 plus shrimp of multiple different genetics and things like that. So I'm actually going to, oh great, they ripped up the pothos root. I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights on, and all the fish can be like, oh, it's daytime, woo, and they've already got this one, so it's kind of prepping them a little bit. Turn that on. I'm going to clean out this 55. I'm going to move the tilapia from this 55 into the 110 stock tank that's right here, and I'm going to get all of these fish floating and prepped. Now the bristlenose, one of those bags with one of the male bristlenose, or I think the only male bristlenose, it's dirty. So I'm going to get that floating ASAP, and I'm probably going to just pick that, because I don't want any shrimp in that tank. I'm going to pick him out of the bag and put him directly into this one, but I'm going to let them float, because the 3 bristlenose are going in with the rest of the bristlenose, and like I said, everything else is going in here. I need to get that going. So let's drain the 55, but I'm stoked. I need to stop doing this though, because like at this time, because it is 9:57 at night. But hey, this is what we got to do. Sometimes, you know, you gotta stay up late to do some cool stuff and help some people, you know, get their fish to a forever home of to Waiko. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. Let's get it. Okay, so quick little update. Number one, this is took down, cleaned. I say cleaned. I gravel vacked to get all the doo-doo out. But if you look on the sides, and even the front glass to a degree, but mainly the sides, the back, a lot of biofilm, which my understanding for Neocaridina is very important to have that biofilm, because it allows them to constantly graze on that film. But they are all floating right now. This bag was because I took out the bristlenose already, and I put the bristlenose in here, and I don't actually think that any of the bristlenose are currently out right now. They are all hiding somewhere, and I need to get them some more hides. We of course have the terracotta ones, but I need to get them something else for the time being. But those suckers are big. I mean, you saw them in the bags. Yeah, those suckers are big. Hopefully they'll be out tomorrow morning. Of course, they're stressed out. I will say though, this angelfish, if we go ahead and zoom in on it, it's getting chunky. I think they're gonna lay again soon. And I might preemptively move those two into, which this will be a future video, so hey, maybe you're seeing this in the future. I might preemptively move them into a different tank. And then kind of like put a lid on it from something else, but I don't know, I'll play with it. But these guys are floating. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in a little bit. I went ahead and pulled out some more hides from the other tank over there, the one with all of the cories and the black skirts and the serpes, that one down there. So there's a lot of hides in there that aren't actually used all that often, so I went ahead and took some of those hides out. And then I'm going to maybe put them in there. I'm probably gonna put like one in there and one somewhere else, but hey, just because you guys were so good. Look at those babies. Look at those babies. If I could focus on them. Hey, there we go. Look at those babies. They're so cool. I'm so ecstatic. The colors already look gorgeous. Hey, that was my chin. Probably zoom that out. I'm a great videographer. You'd think this many episodes in, hey, it'd be better, but hey, this is what happens when you're doing one-person shoots. But don't worry. There'll be multiple people soon. I was also trying to give it a second for some of the bristlenose to come out, but it's just not happening. So I think I'm gonna give them some hides. I'm probably gonna end up spray painting some hides tomorrow morning for both this tank and this tank, and maybe some of the other tanks. But yeah, just a couple updates for you. I'm pretty stoked. So now I'm just gonna let these float. I'm gonna go eat something finally, and I'm pretty stoked. The platies and the shrimp, I'm pretty excited right now. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. But again, we'll get them in the tank, we'll let them settle, and then I'll bring you all back for the final. All right, so tanks are looking good. I'm gonna start off with the bristle nose, just because I can actually see one of them. But as you can see in the back there, one of the male or female bristle nose, and you can actually see the super red if I zoom in. You can see the super red down there, and you can see one of the common ones right there. I went ahead and I think I showed this in the last clip, but I went ahead and put some PVC pipes in. So this PVC pipe, that double, is actually from the 55 in the rec room, and then the corner and that one is from that quarantine tank down there. You can actually see the section right there. That is a little bit less full, but yeah, they're doing pretty good, all things considered. I think what I'm gonna actually end up doing is creating a couple more hides, but making them PVC with caps on the back of them, so that way I can put them in here as well, so they have some caves to potentially breed in. Because one of the commons, and it might be that one that's right there, because that's another one of the commons that I rehomed. So it's that one, the one that's over there, and that super red are the ones that I rehomed. They've been, I think it's this one and one of the males from our colony have been kind of chasing each other around and doing what I would assume is, you know, pleco breeding behavior. I have not bred bristlenose pleco before, but we'll see. And then to move on to the other tank, we've got this one. Now, as always, biofilm is there because of the tilapia, and I wanted to build up the biofilm. But if we look past the biofilm, I don't know if it's just because I cleaned the heck out of this and there was a lot of stuff floating, or what exactly, but like a lot of stuff is starting to settle on the black substrate. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. That is a gorgeous platy with that blue. That one might be my favorite back there because it's got that like pop of red. But a lot of them will kind of stay up here, and of course they aren't right now, but they'll tend to like stay up here at the top, or they just really like going to this sponge filter. And by they, I mean the shrimp and the platies, because as you can see, and there's a lot of them right there, but as you can see, a lot of the shrimp are on the sponge filter eating away. The platies are behind the sponge filter. But what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna take the wood from the aquarium in the house, in the whatever it's called, the living room that has the Oscars in it right now, Ricky and Bobby, and I think I'm actually gonna put that wood in here as kind of a centerpiece, and then we'll plant it out and everything. But I'm actually gonna do a little bit of a water change for them, being very careful not to suck up any shrimp, because I don't know why all of a sudden, you know, overnight it kind of got all dirty and stuff. But in the interest of time, don't worry, I'll clean it up and make it all look better. And it could also be, and what I think is the actual reason is, if you notice, put a bunch of floating plants in last night, and I moved over the chala wood and also the Java moss. So I think that brought over some stuff that also settled, and yeah, but So be it. I love the variety in platies. I love that we have kind of a live bear colony now in a 55 and a shrimp colony, so that's going to be pretty fun. But I'm going to go ahead and get work on this and get some things moving and grooving and get this all cleaned up. And yeah, we'll see. But this tank will be worked on. This tank will be worked on. That tank will be worked on. There's a lot of tanks getting worked on in the near future. These tanks as well. I started the video for these tanks ages ago, and then I put a pause to it. These tanks will get worked on, so it's gonna be good. But if this is your first video here on Twyco, like I said earlier, you know, thanks for coming by. Thanks for checking us out and seeing what we do here. If you did enjoy yourself, make sure to like this video, subscribe. If you like these rehoming type videos, it's a lot of what we do here. The majority of fish that we own here at Twyco are rehomed. Nico and Finch up there we rehomed. Max and Maxine we rehomed. The one of the angelfishes, the yellow angelfish that's in here, was rehomed. So yeah, there's a lot of fish that were rehomed. The convicts were rehomed. So very few fish do I actually buy, and it tends to be either for a purpose like the tilapia, or like the serpe and the black skirts and the cories and things like that. So that way, if I rehome a fish that needs a bigger group, that they can have that bigger group. The only exception to that was the pea puffers from a couple of weeks ago. But I mean, come on, the pea puffers are great. What a fantastic fish to have. But I'll stop rambling on. I'm gonna do some work in the fish room, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But until next time, hope you enjoyed. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.